In a world rich with opinions and perspectives, we often find ourselves navigating the nuanced waters of criticism. It lurks in conversations, distorts our interactions, and permeates our online engagements. Today, we embark on a reflective journey into understanding the cultural roots of this pervasive behavior. Why is it that we seem drawn to critique not only others, but also ourselves? As we unpack these layers, let us pause and consider what lies beneath the surface of our judgmental tendencies. Together, we shall explore how criticism can be both a reflection of our deeply held insecurities and an opportunity for growth, for ourselves and those around us. Criticism is a double-edged sword, with the potential to empower or destroy. It springs from our primal instincts to evaluate and categorize, a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors assess threats and build alliances. In understanding this inclination, we must ask ourselves, are we offering constructive engagement or fostering destructive discord? Our societal environment often encourages judgment as a misguided means of seeking validation. We easily point out others' flaws while overlooking our own imperfections, an almost comical irony in our efforts to connect with one another. However, engaging in criticism without empathy can lead to feelings of inadequacy rather than growth. Constructive criticism can illuminate pathways for improvement when shared with kindness and understanding. Imagine how different our interactions would be if we framed critiques within the context of compassion, viewing them as opportunities for shared growth rather than divisions. Thus, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Will we embrace criticism as a tool for collaboration, or will we let it drive us apart? Each moment of judgment gives us the chance to reflect, not just on others, but also on how we wish to engage with the world around us. Every culture weaves its own narrative of beliefs and ideals, dictating what is considered successful or worthy. These cultural standards shape our judgments, often grounding them in collective expectations. When we explore how much these external influences sway our propensity to judge others, we stumble upon a revealing paradox. Is our criticism an expression of personal conviction, or are we merely echoing societal norms? In many cases, vocalizing critiques can foster a sense of belonging within a community. Yet it raises the question, does this sense of belonging enhance tight-knit bonds or reinforce obsolete ideals? As individuals seeking connection, we may find ourselves trapped in cyclical judgments that neither serve us nor encourage growth. What's crucial is recognizing our ability to, with intention, navigate cultural expectations. Instead of allowing norm-driven judgments to dictate our interactions, we could embrace curiosity and understanding. By doing so, we transform criticism into dialogue rather than division. Ultimately, as we challenge ingrained narratives, we cultivate a culture where empathy prevails, turning judgment into an opportunity for connection rather than estrangement. In the quiet corners of our minds, an inner voice often emerges, critiquing our every move with startling intensity. This dialogue, steeped in self-judgment, echoes the criticisms we readily extend toward others, raising a vital question. Who is behind this narrative? Is it truly ours or merely a reflection of societal pressures? Self-criticism is complicated. It amplifies our feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. We scrutinize ourselves against unrealistic standards, shaped by cultural norms that glorify perfection. In doing so, we become our own harshest critics. But as we reflect, we must examine whether this inner voice guides us toward improvement, or simply perpetuates a cycle of negative evaluation. What if we could transform that critical monologue into constructive reflection? By challenging its validity and embracing vulnerability, we redefine our worth beyond society's fleeting ideals. Ultimately, the journey invites us to exchange judgment for compassion, both for ourselves and others. After all, if there's one truth amidst it all, it is this: our imperfections tell stories worth sharing, connecting us in our humanity rather than separating us through unattainable standards. Critique, often seen as a daunting force, can foster remarkable growth for both the giver and the receiver. Rather than seeing critique as mere judgment, we can approach it as an opportunity for connection and improvement. When delivered with empathy, feedback becomes an act of service rather than condemnation. In personal relationships, thoughtful critique can enhance intimacy and understanding. Honest conversations allow partners to navigate challenges together while fostering trust. Similarly, in professional settings, cultivating a culture that welcomes constructive criticism opens doors to innovation and collaboration. Organizations thrive when employees see feedback as part of a shared journey toward progress. The key lies in reframing our perception of critique, not as a personal attack, but as guidance toward enhanced performance. This shift encourages resilience and motivates us to embrace suggestions without defensiveness. The next time you offer or receive feedback, remember its transformative potential. Instead of focusing on flaws, let's prioritize the growth contained within critique. Together, we can create an environment where dialogue nourishes possibility and unlocks collective potential, turning criticism into a catalyst for genuine improvement. Reflecting on our tendency to criticize, both toward ourselves and others, urges us to embrace a shift from judgment to empathy. In a world often marked by division, cultivating understanding instead of disdain fosters meaningful connections. Imagine how refreshing it would be if every conversation were rooted in curiosity rather than criticism. When we listen deeply to others, we uncover the stories behind their actions, recognizing that every flaw has its context. Each critical word carries weight. Thus, when we approach discussions with intent to understand rather than correct, we create fertile ground for connection. This approach also applies inwardly. By extending empathy towards ourselves, we can transform self-criticism from a harsh internal dialogue into an opportunity for growth. Acknowledging our shared humanity allows us to embrace imperfections with kindness. Choosing empathy over judgment not only nurtures personal relationships, but also promotes a culture where critique is viewed as constructive, an opportunity for learning, rather than a weapon for division. As we embark on this path together, let us foster deeper relationships and greater awareness, inviting genuine progress for all involved.